Good morning. Happy Monday. I might have to pause here and there because there's landscaping. My dog is barking. Things are happening. But I saw this story developing, and I have a few thoughts about my own experience of going to Burning Man in 2021, which was harrowing. It was scary. It was pretty bad. But I'll get to that. Let's listen to what the update is on the man that was murdered this year.
I reached out to the Pershing County Sheriff's Office today just to see if they had any updates in this mysterious Burning Man case, and unfortunately, they said they have no updates, but they are urging the public to come forward with any information they might have. They say that no piece of information is too small, and I've covered enough of these cases to know that law enforcement always tells the public, hey, if you know something, if you saw something, give us a tip, help us out. But in this case is different. Okay? They're not just saying, hey, if you know anything, let us know, just as a common form of procedure. No, they actually need help. In some cases, law enforcement and investigators, they kind of just reach out for help for the hell of it. They don't really want the help. They don't really want.
So I do have to apologize for this guy's audio quality. Um, he apparently has been running. He has quite a large channel, 138,000 followers. I mean, that's pretty big, but apparently he's sitting a little too far away from his mic or something. I don't know what to say about that, but it makes you think, like, when you watch other live streamers and stuff and networks putting together live streams, they're very meticulous about their audio setup, and apparently this guy isn't, but for whatever reason, he has gained quite a following for himself over the years. Now, to recap some of what he reported in a video from a couple days before this, apparently the man is originally from Siberia, Russia, and he was living in, I guess he defected, but I don't know if that was before the fall of communism or not. Like, I don't really know the backstory on this, but he was living in Washington State. Let's take a pause here. I might have to stop again. They leaf blow like 4 days a week here, so we'll do the best that we can with what we have.
The public giving them any information. In this case, they need the help. They need any help they can get, and they're running into a lot of walls because a lot of people from Burning Man don't want to speak about what happened to Burning Man. And speaking of, I'm sure that you guys have seen some interesting characters in my comments when I make these videos. There's a lot of people who I've never seen in my comment section before coming here getting really defensive when I mention that there's like a cultish-like aspect to Burning Man. There's people in the comment sections that get mad when I compare Burning Man to a cult. There's also a lot of...
Oh yeah, I can definitely vouch for that. They have little villages that they set up. They are in tribes. And the year that I went was not an officially sanctioned Burning Man because it was 2021. And so that was a COVID year. They decided they weren't going to do it. So pretty much everybody showed up anyway. They set up their camps. They had their bars. They had their discos. They had their various things going on. and they did the entire Burning Man thing with using drones. They didn't actually like build the Burning Man and burn him. You know, that's how it's different. I've been trying to. Facebook is really hard to go back and find things now because they have been trying to delete a bunch of your older material. So I have been trying to find like the videos that I took that particular weekend, but we'll have to see what I can come up with.
People who get upset when I mention people using drugs at Burning Man. For some reason, I don't know, I guess they think they're running cover. They're trying to convince my subscribers that everyone is...
Let's take a bark pause. Okay, let's get to.
Couldn't be farther from the truth. It's laughable. But that's what we're dealing with just in my comments. So imagine what law enforcement is dealing with. Law enforcement is dealing with people trying to cover this situation up. They're trying to block the truth from coming out. And luckily, now that Burning Man is over and people have dispersed, some people are coming forward feeling more comfortable to speak out. Because apparently, I don't know what it is. They say it's not a cult. But for some reason, everyone was scared to talk about this case while Burning Man was still going on. And yeah, after this guy was murdered, they kept raving. They kept partying. And then they left. They didn't tell the police anything while they were there. But once they left, now they're kind of coming out and they're kind of talking because I guess they were either scared or intimidated to say anything at that festival. So that's kind of weird to me.
Well, I don't know how a normal Burning Man event goes because, like I said, the year I went, it was not sanctioned. It was run outside of their normal parameters, right? So, for example, a normal Burning Man year, they would bring in porta potties. We did not have that option. We had to bring a bucket and cat sand and handle ourselves, and we had to bring that out, and you couldn't throw it away in the nearest town because they would have a problem with getting overwhelmed with all of that. So we had there were health hazard situations. This is also during COVID. A lot of the people that were showing up were anti-vax. They didn't believe that it was real. And it was scary for me. The dude that wanted me to bring him up there is a friend of mine from high school. So I've known him since I was 16 years old. And it became very clear to me during that experience that he claimed to be a recovering drug addict, but was not. And I had set a time limit. Basically, if he did not arrive by 9 a.m. on the day that we were supposed to leave, I was going to take my shit and go. He showed up as I was leaving with his buddies who were in an RV, and I'm like, your problem now. I'm already packed. I'm leaving. Goodbye. It's not easy to get in and out. You have to drive down the playa, which has a lot of dust clouds. So visibility is very difficult. I'll get more into my experience later, though.
I'm sure you'll see some weirdos down in the comment section making excuses for all of the wild stuff that happens out there. And to be clear, I'm not trying to judge anyone for anything. If I was at Burning Man, I would not be there sober. Now, I wouldn't even think of trying half of the stuff these people are on, but I wouldn't be sober. Let's just say that. But, as I said, people are now gaining the confidence now that they're far away from Burning Man. As the days go by, now they're feeling the confidence to talk about some of the things they've seen. And an anonymous woman has come forward, and that's another thing. All of these witnesses, most of the people who are speaking out, they don't want their names to be shared. They all want to remain anonymous, or they use their Burning Man nicknames. They don't use their real names. So there's a real shady aspect to all of this. And I keep saying it, I keep pointing it out, and I know most of you all get it, but there's some people who still don't get it. But anyway, an anonymous woman has come forward talking about what she saw that day. And once again, it's like something straight out of a horror movie. Every time we dive in.
Let's take another break for the landscaping crew. Okay, I think I have a second here. Basically, Burning Man is an art festival, and there's a lot of drug usage going on. Like I said, the year I went, it was not sanctioned, so I don't know if they had more of a minimal sort of emergency response and police, because that is something that is supposed to be available to you during the festival, is emergency services and the police. But it is kind of a very secret sort of thing where you have to be in the know to get invited by a tribe, and it's very childish, but it's very privileged too. These people are not poor. They are wealthy individuals who want to know what it feels like to live a transient lifestyle for just a hot minute.
To one of these Burning Man mysteries, let's go ahead and see what she had to say. Speaking anonymously, the woman said that she and her partner were driving out of Black Rock City when an older woman in a red dress flagged them down. The stranger, described as being in her 50s or 60s, calmly told them a man in her tent was bleeding out and might be dead. When asked if she checked his pulse, the woman replied that she didn't want to touch him, the witness told the outlet. The group then tried contacting a Black Rock Ranger they knew via Starlink, who said they relayed the info to the sheriff's office. So these people didn't come forward talking about this until well after Burning Man was over. But it's not even this woman who's come forward anonymously who I'm focused on. It's the fact that someone flagged them down. Because there's law enforcement out there, there's rangers out there, there's people out there for security. But they don't go to the cops. You got someone who you think may be dead in your tent and they're bleeding out, and you go flag some random person down in their RV instead of, I don't know, the hundreds of people who are probably right next to you, instead of the law enforcement agents or anyone else that you could have contacted. You go and tell a fellow burner.
Okay, we're going to pause here because the landscaper's getting closer to me again.
Right? So that's something that we hear all too often. And that's something we've seen a lot in this case, where there's this hesitancy to get law enforcement involved. Even when you got someone dying, bleeding out in your tent, the first thing they want to do is, oh, I'm going to go tell another burner. I'm going to go tell my Burning Man friend in this RV that someone's dying in my tent. I'm not going to go to this ranger myself. I'm not going to go to the police. I'm not going to go here. Right? And I can guarantee you that the woman that did track this person down and tell them about the person bleeding out in their tent, she's not the only one that saw that. Other people saw it too. It probably just carried on. Because that's the spirit of Burning Man, or so I've been told. When I brought up that I thought it's crazy that the victim's friends kind of just left him dead at Burning Man and went home, I had burners, people who go to Burning Man, in my comment section acting as if I was crazy for feeling that way. The whole concept of Burning Man is self-preservation. The whole concept of Burning Man is being able to make it on your own with limited resources. Of course his friends wouldn't go look for him when he's missing and dead in the desert. So a lot of these people are ass backwards. And yeah, unfortunately, instead of there being a huge effort here to kind of solve this crime, to make Burning Man a safer place for everyone, there seems to be more of an effort to kind of, hey, let's not talk about this, and whoever is talking about it, let's go try to muddy the waters over there and try to spread it misinformation to lead people astray.
Oh, yeah. This is a super dangerous situation. We're talking 30 minutes from the closest town. All right. This guy is back. I can't. 4 days a week of this. Our homeowners association has been complaining about us owning dogs and they bark, but they pollute our sound every fucking day. I can't, you guys. Okay, let's see if we can go on.
All you gotta do is look at this situation for what it is. All you gotta do is look at Burning Man for what it is. I know the people who go there will act like, oh my God, it's so great, you just gotta be there, you just don't understand. No, we're watching you guys there. We understand what it is, buddy.
And on top of it, what I observed when I was there, it was predominantly white people. There were not a lot of, I don't recall seeing anybody of color at that event, period. The only color they had were sunburns.
Understand what Burning Man is. I don't have to go to understand. I know that in your cult, sorry, it's not a cult, but in your festival, I know in your festival-ridden minds that this is all normal to you, but to most people it's not. But slowly but surely, people are coming forward. There's tidbits of information coming out every day, but it's a slow drip. It's a really slow drip. And law enforcement, from my understanding, they're really relying on some people talking. And I do think more people are going to talk, but I don't know if we're going to hear about it. Because from what I've seen so far, everyone that's coming forward talking, they're all acting as if they're scared of something. And I get it, it's a scary situation. Some guy just got killed, but I don't know. If you're some random person that was at Burning Man when this happened, why should you be afraid to share your identity? Why is everyone having to be anonymous? Next thing you know, they're going to be doing interviews like in the dark with the voice changers. Yes, I was at Burning Man. Yes, I saw him get killed at Burning Man. It's totally not a cult. We do no drugs at Burning Man. You know what I mean? The voice changer, that's what's coming next. But yeah, I think that people are going to talk. I don't know how much we'll hear because the people who are talking, they're obviously scared or intimidated or something. So whatever is happening at Burning Man, whatever the culture is at Burning Man, obviously it instills some sort of fear. Fear of what? I don't know. Are they scared they're going to end up like the victim if they talk? Or are they scared that they'll be like, shunned from the Burning Man society for talking to the cop?
It's probably both, but I think your first reason is the more predominant reason, that they're scared they're next, right? But these folks act as families. They chat all year. They plan all year. They have side events. I went to a side event with my friend in North Hollywood one year, and my son was there with us too. And they were showing off some of their floats because they have all these rigs and floats and things like that. This is a huge culture, and it's very underground, and it's very hush-hush.
You know what I mean? I think that's what a lot of people are afraid of. Because a lot of people at Burning Man, it goes well beyond a festival. When they go back home, a lot of times they only interact with fellow burners, right? It's a community. The victim was kind of lured in by this community. He was from Russia, didn't really know anyone here. Got into a group with all of these burners. They convinced him to go to Burning Man. Now he's dead. And they left him out there, dead in the desert. Unidentified, dead in the desert. So there's a lot of people who are afraid to speak out about things that happened there because they don't want to be shunned. They don't want to be, kicked out of their communities. So,
Well, I'll tell you straight up. My experience was my friend told me he was recovering from drug addiction. Apparently not. And he had re-entered my life through some trickery. He had not been telling me the whole story about what was going on with him, but he had gotten a job working up the street from me. So he would occasionally come over and visit and tell me what was going on with him. And he wanted to go to Burning Man, but he was having trouble withdrawing cash and blah, blah, blah. So, he couldn't rent a car. That's what it was. He had the cash, but he couldn't rent a car because his credit was so bad. But like I said, the people who go are not poor. You've got to have money to be a part of this culture. And he did. He was a homeowner. He also owned multiple rental properties. Whether or not he still did at the time or he blew his wad, I have no idea. All I know is that I was helping a friend go to this Burning Man festival because I had the time and I'd never been to one, and I thought I'd check it out. He made me stop at a Walmart and he bought $1,000 worth of liquor for this event because he said the culture is that you have to trade gifts with everybody. I don't know what he did with that stash because it was left at the camp. I took what was mine, packed the car, and left. Because you don't go to a camping event and disappear for over 12 hours. You just can't do that.
Have to wait and see how things play out here. But I got my eye all over this case. I'm looking around. I'm seeing the discussions being had on various forums and social media groups, and I'll keep you guys updated. There's definitely something shady going on here, though. For now, you guys let me know what you think about it, though, down in the comments below. While you're down there, hit that thumbs up, hit that subscribe, ring that notification bell, and I'll talk to you all very soon in the next one.
Okay, it looks like I found some of the footage. Let's see what it was.
I hope y'all are ready for a great Labor Day weekend. I'm on the road. I'm in the high desert, y'all. I'm on the road. This is pit stop number 1 before we get to the final destination. I probably won't have access to social media for the next few days, which might actually be good for the soul. And but I'll try and take some video and stuff where I can. It's actually like a limited sort of thing where I really have to ask if people are okay with if I take pictures or get video. But I'm ready to have a rockin' weekend, and I've got all my masks. I'm ready to social distance. I'm gonna be in open air, and I'm ready to go. I hope you guys are too. So I'm gonna have to tune out of some of this other dramatic nonsense with the MAGA trolls and the Rose McGowan crowd, you MPPers who have been trying to pose as progressives for years, and now you're just like, mask off, man, mask off. We are aligning with the MAGA people. We're aligning with the Boogaloo boys. I've already said some things earlier this week. I've been contacting people. I'm like, look, y'all are putting your progressive organizations at risk by continuing to work with these people. you guys do you. It's all about what sort of crowd you want to attract. And if you're going to ally yourself with white supremacists, that's what you're going to get. And you're also going to lose your power and influence. But you keep doing you, okay?
Okay, so that was at the beginning of the trip.
Making a pit stop on our road trip for a snack. So we stopped, we're in the middle of nowhere really, but it's very pretty, so I thought I'd take a little video. So, you know, we've got Lake the Sierra Nevada, the back side here, the eastern side. And there's some folks over here playing a game. We're at a barbecue place. And we're just hanging out. We're hanging out. There's this nice mural here in the back. Stretching our legs, maybe getting some sausage. People are masked. People are, you know, social distancing. People are figuring out how to live in our new normal. It's a sad new normal, but that's how we all are doing now. So I'm hopefully going to get some sausage and a drink, and then we got to continue on because we have a lot more hours of driving to go. Making a pit stop on our road trip.
So this was during the oh, it flipped up, dang, so I'm gonna miss some of the videos. This was during COVID, and it was sold to me as, you know, we're gonna be away from everybody else, it's open air, etc., etc. I'm running out of time to actually go through all of this, but I will, after my doctor's appointments today, try and grab all of the videos I did take from that weekend and load them into a folder, a playlist. But it's going to take me some time because YouTube keeps scrolling me back to the top, and then I have to go back 4 years to actually get it. So anyway, this is what I have so far, and we'll just start with this.